If you are someone who works in ministry and evangelization is part of your job, youth ministry, campus ministry, or missionary, maybe you're a priest or religious or something of the sort, or you're one of the few Catholics who actually take evangelization as seriously as we should and live out the Great Commission, proclaim the gospel to all nations and to your friends and family, and you're just having a hard time and you can't figure out what to do, here's the one thing that is a game changer when it comes to evangelization. When we're talking about getting someone to a place of conversion, the conversion roadmap that I want to use is biblical, and it is the road to Emmaus story, where Jesus, after his resurrection, appears to the two who are walking down the road to Emmaus. And there's 4 parts to this. First part is Jesus appears and he meets them along the road, and he walks with them along the way. And he's just kind of accompanies them on their journey, meets them where they're at. Second part is he begins to ask them questions, and they ask him questions, and there's curiosity that arises as they begin to discuss things. A third part is Jesus begins to break open the scriptures to them and to share a little bit of the story of the gospel. And the fourth part is they sit down and Jesus breaks the bread. And there is this sacramental element that takes place. So if there's 4 parts to this kind of conversion roadmap in the road to Emmaus, it is the accompaniment of meeting them along the way. There's this curiosity and trust building and sharing story as they walk. Then there's this kind of proclamation of the gospel and the breaking open of the scriptures. Then there's this sharing of sacrament in the breaking of the bread. And I think what we do is in evangelization is we hope to just begin at 2 or at 3 or maybe even at 4, and we often miss 1. Accompaniment is the game changer when it comes to conversion and evangelization in this Road to Emmaus story. And what we see in the Road to Emmaus is accompaniment takes place all throughout all 4 stages. Jesus meets them on the road and he walks with them as they begin to develop curiosity, as he begins to share the gospel and shares a meal with them, and he introduces this sacramentalization of the faith, and the whole time Jesus is with them. It says in the story that Jesus made as if he was going to keep on going, and they ask, would you stay with us? And that's when the sacramentalization happens, because Jesus has built the trust. The first bridge that needs to be crossed is the bridge of trust, to get someone to get even to a place of curiosity. I think we often hope that stage 2 of curiosity is going to come before we've built trust through accompaniment, or that we can just proclaim the gospel when there hasn't been any curiosity, you haven't built trust through accompaniment, or that we can just bring someone to the sacraments, and praise be to God, the Lord is the one who brings about conversion, and the Lord is the one who speaks to hearts. But often we just miss this first one of just being with people, walking with them along the way. Because here's the truth. If something is foreign to me, if something is new, if it's not something that I know very well, then I, 1, probably need someone's help to explain it to me, and 2, probably need someone to do it with me so I don't feel like I'm alone. Because people just don't want to do things alone. People want to be known. People want to belong. And so accompaniment is the thing that throughout the entire process needs to take place, because what also often happens is we make some proclamation of the gospel, or we try to draw someone into an event or into the sacraments at our church, and then we just try to let them run on their own, and we've maybe accompanied them at the start, and there gets to a point where stage 3 or 4, we just kind of try to let them run off on their own, and we end the accompaniment. The key to evangelization is throughout the process. What begins with just being with and accompanying an individual has to continue throughout the entirety of the process. So someone first knows that they're cared for, knows that I'm not just trying to accomplish some end goal or sell you on my product. I care about you as a human person, and I want to be with you and to do this thing side by side with you. And I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to walk with you, and we'll have conversations about things, and I can explain things to you. And when you don't quite understand something, we can talk it through, because Jesus, to his disciples, he doesn't just call them servants. He doesn't just call them consumers of the product he's selling. He calls them friends. And so if we're trying to model Jesus and preach his gospel, then we need to befriend people and accompany them throughout the entire process of the initial trust to the sacramentalization and sanctification of the individual. Accompaniment is the key.